We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Jaelan Phillips, and most of these clips are against the Bengals. This was a tough one to watch as just a fan of the NFL, fan of the Dolphins. Seeing Tua go down, it really just took me out of the game. I wasn't super into it anymore, and it was just a sad thing to see. I'm glad that he's in high spirits, and things don't look as major as it was on the field. So hopefully he fully recovers, hoping for the best for Tua, but did want to give Jaelan Phillips some love because he looked really good in this game. The stat sheet looked really good, but I actually think he's been playing better than the stats show throughout the season. And I think that has to do with a few things with just how the Dolphins schemes work. He doesn't get as many opportunities as you would like, but when he is able to rush full on rush opportunities, I think he's won a lot of his battles getting pressures, and I think pressures is a better translation to future success than sacks are, because sometimes sacks are just, you get those cleanup sacks, and they're just like not always a good predictor of telling the whole story and seeing if they're going to get future sacks. So let's get right into this film breakdown. We're going to start off with Jaelan Phillips' sack, actually. Getting him lined up on the 4-tech and getting him a one-on-one with a guard. Very impressive here. Good job working the rip move, just winning with that first step explosiveness off the ball. He gets held, and he shows off the relentless motor to finish this sack too, because he doesn't get him on the first go-ahead because he's getting chokeholded. But he starts off, uses that left foot to attack the midline of the offensive lineman, giving the threat that he could go to the inside. So he freezes the feet and then does a nice club. He misses the club, like you want to get the back of the elbow here, but he rips underneath, flips his hips and his shoulders towards the quarterback here to take the correct angle, gets held, gets the holding penalty, and then shows off, never giving up on the play to finish this sack. So just a good all-around play from start to finish. I think one of the reasons you don't see him get as many opportunities as other pass rushers is because the Dolphins love to run like the cover zero or deep drop in zones, and teams have just been throwing quick, short passes, so there hasn't been as many opportunities for sacks. That's another reason for that. And just the Dolphins defense schematically, they ask their rushers to stay in their rush lanes, win with leverage, hand usage, getting hands into the chest, not do anything too fancy. And I always thought Phillips was a pretty good finesse rusher coming out of college with his athleticism combined with his pass rush repertoire, but the Dolphins do not ask him to do that at all, so it really limits what he's capable of at this level, like at least what I think he could do even more, because I mean right here, you get him lined up on the inside, he's not even an edge here. It just creates a nice matchup though versus the guard because he's just way too athletic, and yeah, very impressive first sack for Phillips. Really love this pressure from Jaelan Phillips. These are things that don't show up on the stat sheet as sacks, you know, but these are plays that disrupt. He's very disruptive when given the opportunity in the wide 9, works the speed to power here, and then gets the O-lineman right back into Joe Burrow and then forces him out of the pocket. They end up getting 4 yards, but these type of plays can lead to turnovers if you have another guy to maybe clean up the sack, run into them, or it forces the QB to panic, throw interceptions, things like that. These are things that lead to those turnovers in the future, but just good job. 2nd and 10, getting like a true pass rush rep here off the edge, and then like works the footwork, gives it like a little choppy steps here, foot fire right before he gets in to Williams, thinking he might attack with the inside counter, and looking like he's going to go more finesse here, setting up a pass rush move, but then he just goes straight speed into power, gets his hands low, he wins the leverage battle when he's a taller player, and then drives him back into Burrow, forces him to escape the pocket. So just a good pressure, good overall hurry. These are things that don't show up on the stat sheet and a lot of fans won't notice, but Phillips has been doing pretty much all season. And this is the very next play. He creates pressure again and then forces Burrow to escape the pocket, and then they get him to 4th and 1. I believe they gains another like 4 yards-ish on this play on 3rd and 5. Just getting him lined up on the 4-tech again, and then just winning the inside with speed, with quickness. Super impressive stuff. He's like sort of the setup guy on the twist and stunt. Like he's supposed to set this up for Flowers to get around the edge, and he's so quick and so explosive, even laterally, sticks that foot in the ground, and look how he just zooms over to this side, gets low. Like he's trying to make 67 get hands on him and even take out 64, but there's so much space here, and he's so quick, lightning quick off the ball that they don't even get hands on him. So he just gets upfield, creates the pressure, and put Flowers into the position to get the sack, but he's kind of falling off balance, so it doesn't happen. But he created all that, and then it forces Burrow to escape the pocket, and then the rest of the Dolphins rally, get them to 4th and short, and they end up stopping them on 4th and 1 on the sweep that they ran. But this is the type of stuff that you love to see. I like these matchups, getting Phillips more matched up with guards on the inside because he's just too athletic, too explosive for them, and it's been really impressive seeing this, especially in the Bengals game. But I think it's something he's been doing and looking better at, and then this was his best game all season. This time on the opposite end, working the TE, really times this up beautifully, looping to the inside here. Lets Sealer set up his guys, take out the 2, and then forces this quick pass from Burrow. And you can just see, takes the perfect amount of steps up into 73, and then Sealer works in the perfect angle to take 67 and 73 out of the play. And Phillips times this up, gets the inside, too explosive for any of the guys to get off and see him coming, and then he gets a nice little pressure on Burrow, forces him to throw it out, and then they get a 2-yard loss. Just another impressive play that most people won't notice, and yeah, really looking forward to seeing him grow as the season goes on, getting more opportunities to get sacks, make big plays. But when the Dolphins' style of defense, they are forcing teams to get the ball out quickly, and it's going to limit his sack opportunities. I wanted to show this play because he doesn't really have an effect on this play because they're throwing a swing pass to the left, but this is how I think Phillips would be most effective. Lined up out wide, get him all this space to work one-on-one versus an offensive tackle, and let him use his pass rush ability to win off the edge, win with bend. And he has some moves in his repertoire. He really does a good job of combining his feet with his hands. Look at this, work the cross chop, swipe down there. This is impressive stuff, and just takes the alignment off balance. He has a good feel in this area. He just doesn't, the Dolphins don't let their edge rushers really do this. I would like to see Phillips get more opportunities in this area. Just working, look at his footwork, wide steps to keep the alignment off balance, keep them guessing on what he's doing, and then combine that hop jump with the swipe down on the hands, wins this around the edge here. Look at the alignment, what he does to him just with that swipe down right there. And then you can see him flip his hips, corner to the QB, and then shows off some effort to maybe get involved there on the swing on the opposite side of the field, but wasn't going to be involved on this play. I would just like to see Phillips maybe use more like this, give him more opportunities in this area instead of just having him stay in his rush lanes, get engaged, more opportunities to create big plays for the defense. Showing this play just to show off the attention Phillips started getting in this game after coming up big. The Bengals started a game plan for Phillips. They knew that he was the biggest threat to them in this game, so they started sending in Mixon to get a chip, which doesn't end up working, and then they get a double working on him initially too. So he goes from a chip from the running back lined up tight into the double of 73 and 67. This is also a pretty good high IQ play from him to avoid the chip and then go straight into the middle of Williams and the guard here to give Jones possibly a free blitz off the edge. But it's a good play by the offensive tackle coming off of it, recognizing the blitz coming. But just trying to help out his teammates, unselfish play here. But also look at all the attention he garnered, 3 players at once, creating one-on-one matchups on the backside. And then that ends up making him just throw the quick fade, back shoulder fade off of a quick step drop. And just really loved that the team started focusing on him, because I think he's faced some chips this season, not as many as he did in this game, facing more attention, because when he was getting his one-on-one opportunities, he was winning them. I love how Phillips has been used on the twists, the stunts, everything this season. He's just so explosive, and he's really worked on his timing on these, letting the guy set these up, and he's just too laterally and linearly explosive. Just sets this up initially, takes one step already around, perfect angle, stays tight enough to 64 where he's not gonna over pursue Burrow and then give him a free lane or free bounce to the right, get a clean pocket. So it takes a perfect angle but doesn't get too wide or too tight. The alignment dips that shoulder, and then would have had a sack on Burrow. Has to get the ball out quickly again while under pressure, force the ball to be slightly overthrown. He was creating pressure all game, whether it be one-on-one matchups, just true pass rush reps, twists and stunts, either as a setup guy or the loop guy. And then he was also pretty solid versus the run too. He's playing with high effort, getting some, high effort, motor sacks type of things, winning instantly, creating pressure, all of that type of stuff all game. Last play that I wanted to show of this game, this time Phillips getting a drop into coverage as like a curl flat defender. It's actually a pretty good rep. Would not really recommend him dropping into coverage too often, but just recognizing play action, seeing the boot coming, stays disciplined, stays square to the line of scrimmage, as that's like his responsibility. Gain depth to possibly take away the throwing lane to 84, just leveraging these two routes pretty well here. Could take away the throwing lane if it's underthrown, and then close to tackle Higgins on the underneath beneath route, and then has the speed, enough speed to close and catch Higgins too. So pretty athletic out in space. Wouldn't recommend him doing this too often, but it's nice to see that he's able to do it. We can watch this from the other angle, see it, just pretty good recognition, sees what's happening, gains depth, then closes underneath. Good all-around play from Phillips. Thought he looked really good this whole game. Loved how he's looked pretty much. I like how his other games were solid, not like overly impressive, but he was still making plays. He had a couple big plays against the Ravens, a couple big plays against the Bills. I think if he can he's very close, just like an inch away from getting some of these sacks, but I'm not too worried about it because he's actually one of the, he has one of the higher pressure percentages in the league, and that stat usually is a better translation to getting sacks in the future, not sacks itself, because sometimes sacks are not all sacks are created equal. It's a new saying that I've been seeing going around, and it's definitely the case. I would say Phillips' sack this game was definitely a big creation of him because he won his one-on-one matchup, got the holding call, and then put in some effort to also get it. So just a really good all-around game from Phillips. Excited to see if he can build upon this and keep improving, because last year I thought that was one of his biggest things, is he started slow but improved as the season went on, and that kind of seems how it's going this year too, because I thought his first game of the season was probably his slowest game, but then every game since then I think he's been better and better. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.